Hey, what's up? Kevlin here. I have Odin with me. They say hi. He's a good boy. So I've done a few lists ranking the students of the Academy and Fire Emblem Three Houses, so I thought I'd do the church's staff. I'm only really going to be looking at the recruitable staff members right now, so I don't think I'll be adding Rhea or Yuritsa. I may do another list on the Ashen Wolves and other characters, but we'll see. I do know that this list will cover most of my experiences with these characters and might attach some Fire Emblem 3 hopes onto this, or even some heroes, but we will see. Lastly, before I start this is the internet. These are just based on my experiences and opinions. Things may change. Possible spoilers for any media involved. This isn't meant to offend anyone, and it's mostly made for fun. So let's get started. To start this list off is Cyril, however you say it. Cyril is one of the younger staff members at the church who originally was from the neighboring country, Elmira. He found his way to the church and now works for Lady Rhea. While mostly doing chores and busy work, Cyril can fight. He trains with Shamir on his off time, and, well, let's say he should keep training. Yes, he's younger than Shamir's other student, Leonie, but we've had some savage kids on the battlefield in Fire Emblem history before where age did not hold them back. He usually uses axes, but he can use bows as well. He's stronger but less accurate with an axe, but weaker with a bow, and has a higher accuracy, though. So, meh. I did find something that makes him okay-ish, but it wasn't worth the work since you can have Shamir as your archer and have Alois as your axe guy amongst the staff. That's probably why I left him at camp. At camp, Cyril is usually busy, but whenever anyone talks to him, it's always about Rhea. I get it. She saved him and let him stay in the monastery. I just can't deal with the single-minded lemmings. Besides a few interesting conversations, like with Manuela, he's one note, not very good in battle, and kind of boring. I tried to like him, but ultimately I always forget that he's there. Flane the Fish Fiend is next. Some spoilers. Do I really need to say that for a game that's over 5 years old? Spoiler warning! If you don't want to hear it, skip the segment. Flane, aka Sethlene, is Keyhole's daughter and a famous mage. She's lived a lot longer and done more than most people. There's more to her that meets the eye. I wish I could say. Nowadays, Flane just dawdles around the monastery trying to find something to do other than fish and nap. When you take her places, like out to fight, it's clear all her healing and fighting experiences has long expired, like the pumpkin that is sitting on my table right now. This mage dragon is slow, weak, and doesn't bring much. You really have to work with her to get her to a point where a puff of wind won't send her off course. Kinda like a bag of Lay's potato chips. So for her sake, and Seth's, I just leave her at the church. Flane's fun to talk to. I like that she's always wanting to try new things or go new places. But the restrictions Seth puts on her are wild. I feel like there's a lot more that could have been done with her character, but I don't know. She just didn't click with me. When I see her and I talk to her, I like her, but trying to make this list, I realized I don't like her as much as I think I do. Sorry, Flane. I mentioned her earlier, so let's move on to Manuela. Manuela is from the Empire and was a performer there at their big opera house. She was a talented singer and dancer and even performed with Dorothea from the Black Eagles. Manuela did end up leaving because she knew that she wasn't going to be able to hold the audience's attention forever. She retired from the stage and went to become a nurse and a teacher at the academy. Sometimes she's even called out to fight, too. And let me just say, her true passion and talent is with the performing arts. Manuela isn't a very good mage or healer. Her low stats and weak attack were hard to work with. When she's a higher level and lined up close with allies, she can do okay. Though the enemy does like to pick off the weaker ones, it's like a pack of hangry lions. So I don't usually bring the songstress unless I have no one else or it's mandatory. During downtime, Manuela is either fretting over guys or her future. Well, maybe if you didn't drink your life away, your life, and your room, wouldn't be a mess. How can a nurse be this unsanitary? She ate a sandwich off the floor! One of the first days at the school, Hanneman tells Byleth that she ate a sandwich off the floor. For someone that seems so prim and proper, she is a mess. What's crazy is that Manuela left the opera company to start thinking about her retirement. She's doing the same thing that she was already doing. Stop! I know some habits are hard to break, but come on. Dorothea followed you and is doing similar things. You are literally a role model for these squishy little teenagers. Do something. Just stop. I was going to say stop drinking and driving, but I don't think that's the right term. Next, we have someone who has their life a little more together, Alois. Alois actually knew Geralt before becoming a Knight of Seiros. He spends most of his time with the students, but also has a family with a wife and daughter. Now, during his knightly duties, Alois is mostly an axe fighter. I just had a hard time with that. I ended up giving him the gauntlets. Those things are so broken, almost anyone can be proficient with those. I feel like those things are cheating, and even Nintendo and Intelligent Systems knew it because they really nerfed the hand-to-hand combat in Fire Emblem Engage. As for Alois himself, he has puns. I like that. Puns are great. He's also always there for students or Byleth or anyone who needs him. Other than that, he's kind of like Caspar or Ignatz. Interesting enough, but nothing super traumatizing and not too tied into the main story unless you count Geralt and the mercenaries. That's fine, and that's all I can really ask from Alois and all I can really say about him, so let's move on. I have a decent amount to say about Seteth. Seteth is one of the head staff members of the Church of Seiros. He's always been close to the church since the dawn of time, or I guess the dawn of Fodlan. I don't know if I need to say this again, but spoilers, if you don't want to hear this, then skip to the next segment. Back then, Seteth went by Keyhole and fought alongside Seiros and some of the other warriors. They founded the church and went from there, trying to hide their identities as best they can. Either people in Fodlan are dumb, or Seteth isn't as sneaky as he thinks he is, because I saw right through this. Anyway, since Seteth is experienced on the battlefield, he is a great warrior to have. He usually uses axes or lances, but he can literally turn anything into a weapon. He can just jump off his wyvern and throw hands with almost anyone. Even in Three Hopes, he was a fun flyer to use, though it is weird that a dragon is riding a dragon. Do you think he can talk to his dragon? Like, how long do wyverns live? It must be decently long if Sheristan gave Minerva to Jerome. Anyway, even off the battlefield, Seteth is calm, cool, and collected. For the most part. He is the voice of reason between the staff, especially Rhea. In all the games, Seteth is the only one to question if things seem fishy.
It's clear you have thought carefully and planned well.
A little bit too well. Seteth, you're smarter than this. You have to know that there's something weird. Say something.
He does like to fish, though. And write. And spend some time with Flayn, who is his daughter, not his sister. That's just where he loses his cool, is if Flayn is in trouble, which is understandable. After all that his family has been through, I totally get it. Though even when a sword isn't being pointed at Flayn, this guy will flip, like backflip, like after Link puts iron boots in his pocket, he just backflips. I enjoy Seteth. He's smart, he has common sense, and a good parent, and alive, depending on how you play. But that's rare. A living parent that's not completely a nutjob or a possessed puppet. My mind is blown. How about you, Odin? My dad thought this next character looked like Sherlock Holmes, so you can take an educated guess on who I'm talking about. It's Hanuman. Hanuman was a noble in the Empire, but left that life behind to further his crest research. I guess they only let him in the library as long as he promised to be a teacher. Despite being a prestigious school for royals and nobles, the teachers aren't great. You got ex-singer and drunk Manuela, a homeless mercenary, a man with a secret split personality, and now Hanuman. Alright then, Rhea, you really know how to pick your staff. Hanuman I didn't think much of, but when he offered to join, I was all, okay, sure, I won't say no to more options. When I took him and Manuela out to train, he did leagues better than the nurse. How is a crest nerd a better healer than the school nurse?
Good question.
He also came with a bow and arrow for some reason. I let him keep it because you never know when your book's gonna run out of pages. Hanuman surprisingly became one of my best mages, and since he's recruitable in any route in Three Houses, that is a huge plus. Bigger bonus if you don't have Annette, Mercedes, or Marianne. During downtime, there isn't too much going on other than Crest Insight, which us as players don't know much about, so that's good in that sense, but other than that, there's not much going on there. Though he does have some fun little quips. I already mentioned the Manuela sandwich incident, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Another fun character is Catherine. Catherine comes from the kingdom, but has sworn allegiance to the Church of Seiros and Lady Rhea. I wish we got the full story of what happened to Catherine and how Rhea healed her, but I guess that'll be left a mystery. Unless you guys know, feel free to comment below. Now loyal to Rhea, Catherine will fight for her, and she's actually good at that. I didn't usually have Catherine use her relic sword because I didn't want to break it, but she can use any weapon with ease. My personal favorite were the gauntlets, of course, and any weapon she can just basically just throw, javelins, anything. I found a lot of success with those. She's kind of like Felix in that sense, but there's just something about Felix that keeps his skill just a nib higher than her. Both are good fighters, though. Both are also just entertaining people in general. While Catherine does talk about Rhea a lot, it's not to the extent of Cyril, who's at pretty much the opposite end of this list. Yes, Rhea is brought up, but only when she's asked about. Catherine is always ready for whatever and seems to be respected by students and staff. When she talks to Lysithea, there's some fun energy. I don't know if it's like big sister or a child-free aunt energy, but I like it nonetheless. It was really hard to figure out whether to put Catherine here or in the number 1 spot. Ultimately, the only thing that held her back was not being available on all routes, but I admire the dedication she has to Rhea. It's also not 100% blind following either. In Edelgard's route, when the Empire is attacking the kingdom capital and the town gets set ablaze, Catherine questions whether if this is the right thing and worries for the citizens. She does end up still fighting, but I still admire her in seeing that even her hero isn't perfect. There is a line in loyalty, and where it lies is another question. What's not in question, though, is that Shamir's number 1. Again, I wanted to put Catherine here, but the whole loyalty conversation could be its own thing, like Catherine and Hubert, Frederick, that whole group. But that's not what I'm here to talk about right now. I'm here to finish this list and top it off with Shamir. Shamir isn't from Fodlan, but ended up here through a series of very unfortunate events. She is a fighter, though, and a great fighter at that. With her bow, Shamir can take down almost anyone. Her accuracy is high, and her crit rate is ridiculous. Probably one of the highest of the archers in Fodlan. She can also use other weapons quite well, whether it's an axe or a sword. If she's any good with magic, you'll have to let me know. I'm curious, but I haven't actually tried it yet. She's calm and collected on the battlefield, which is great for her field of work, but isn't afraid to share some tips, tricks, or stories with others. Shamir teaches both Cyril and Leonie in 3 Houses and is very open with Shez in 3 Hopes. She's not very talkative outside of that, but she has some fun one-liners, though mostly with Catherine. What ranked her 1 above Catherine is that Shamir, like I mentioned, is recruitable on all routes and procs each single one of them. While most mercenaries only work for money, and that kind of was the case for Shamir, once she gives you her word, she stays by your side. Does this make her morally better than Catherine? That's up to you. I love them both, but gameplay-wise, having Shamir there each route lets me get to know her better, level her up more, and have more support with her. So Shamir is number 1, at least for now. If I added Rhea and the others in, who knows? So that's my list of the Academy's faculty. I hope you enjoyed this list more than actual school. I know I did, and it wasn't even that good of a list. Heck, it might even change one day. If it does, I hope it's better written than this one. I'm trying to get better at this, so thank you for bearing with me. And y'all know the drill at this point. Let me know who your favorites are below. Thank you for watching, and Odin and I hope you have a good one. Odin really didn't want to come out of his cage. He was just pressed up against the glass, and he looked cute and looked like he wanted to be held. But as soon as I opened the cage, he just tried to nope himself out of there. I'm sorry, Odin, but you look like you wanted to be held, so you can't double back on that now. I will put you back after recording this, though. You've been such a good boy. I know. You're in your retirement days, aren't you? I still love you. I love you no matter what. You're a good boy. Alright. Odin says night-night. My dad thought this next character looked like Sherlock Holmes, so you can take an educated. Catherine is always ready for whatever and seems to be respected and liked among both students and staff. When she talks to Lysithea,